We had, in the process of getting involved in the ANLA, American Nursery and Landscape Association, and knowing that we were getting the peer group, had decided to have another professional perspective into the business. Our involvement with that industry association had exposed us to other garden centers, consultants, and business owners around the country. And we had gotten to know Ian. He taught a 12-day series of classes on profitable garden center management. We captured from that some really good information, brought him on site to train better garden center management to 60 or 70 of our management people in what we came to call SKH University. And that process turned into hiring Ian to do a critique of our business. As a professional consultant, we had him come in and critique us. That wound up happening also in June of 2003. Again, the embarrassing side of this kind of came out in the critique, as he spent 3 days in depth getting around to our locations. Couple of comments. First comment was the first day as he was getting done, and I called him on the phone and said, Ian, where are you at? We're getting together for dinner. What are our plans? And he said, and I quote, "You're going to need alcohol." I probably didn't need to know anything else than that, but we got together and started talking about exactly what it was that he had seen. Having done training in our company on business management, which included merchandising and things like that, one of his comments was, it was disappointing to see the lack of merchandising implementation, following a strong emphasis at the SKH University and the excellent action plans that the attendees had written for themselves after the program. You can write great action plans and never carry them out, and that was part of what we were seeing, and we were lacking some consistency. Another comment. The store lacked pizzazz and looked tired for early June. That comes across to the customer. This area was laid out in a square and uninspiring manner. We're really good at road and square because we line things up in a grocery store, we line things up alphabetically, we organize chemicals and we organize things, but it can be pretty boring at times. But the comment that he will be forever remembered for was, having visited one of our stores, he said, it felt like the bland leading the bland. If you can't hear that, you better not start on an image and brand makeover, because you have to deal with reality. What we did at that point was, we were just at that point beginning to implement this idea of the executive operations team. At that point, the group had 16 members. It has 14 today. And we basically presented to that team the concept of an image makeover. And we began to vet that process, and the task was really assigned then to myself, and to be involved with marketing, to come back with an image plan and an image makeover. The first order of business was to interview and hire a design firm. And one of the things that Carl said was, hire a design firm. Don't just hire a marketing firm. A business model design, a brand design firm has a different perspective on your business than just somebody focused on marketing. And so we interviewed 2 different firms. We had looked at quite a number, boiled it down to 2 in the Northeast area, and hired them. We hired Holberg Design Firm then in 2004, and one of his first tasks was, we've had these 2 other critiques. We want to know what you think from a design, brand and image design perspective. And so he went around to all the locations, he and his team, and came back with 17 critique points and an action plan that gave us a bit of a roadmap. His comments. His report can probably best be summarized by the statement, it has been discovered, by this time we knew it, that there is a lack of visual continuity and strong, consistent brand image between the 7 locations. From the vast array of marketing materials you supplied to us, we believe that you fully understand who you are and your message to the audience. The downfall is in how you portray this message to the marketplace. And so what we really embarked on was the the image and brand makeover. A couple of other things that came out of that survey, and there's just a weight of critique here. Overall, the store is average. We didn't want to be average. That's satisfactory, but it wasn't satisfactory to us. There's inconsistency across the locations, especially colors and logo usage. Colors and scheme are generally dull. Most stores appeared cluttered. Once again, utilitarian came to mind. There needs to be an improved traffic flow. You need to pick a fixture and sign display system. There was again inconsistency in what we were doing. You need to simplify and organize your signage. There are too many colors, too many styles, too many signs in general. In other words, in the words of the 5-man electric band, sign, sign, everywhere sign. And the tune wasn't working for us at that point. Employees' uniform. There's a great inconsistency again in usage. Fleet graphics were inconsistent. They needed a policy to go with it. Logo and its usage. Your logo is out of date, and it was confusing to the consumer as well as to anybody really evaluating it. Who are you? Are you SKH or are you Stauffers at Kissel Hill? We were using both acronyms, both names in our public presentation. And across the board, it all boiled down to one thing. We needed consistency in how we were presenting ourselves to the public. Kate mentioned words that convey the business and that communicate about you. And all of those words we didn't want to be what conveyed our image and our brand and our strength in the family business to our consumers. What it all boiled down to was really one thing. We had an embarrassing alignment of old and tired. And we as the owners were awfully late in realizing it. It had taken us a long time, a very long time, to realize that we were on that downward curve that Kate talked about and desperately in need of revitalizing our brand. We had done a survey and our customers had told us that they were confused. We asked them, how do you know us by? And we heard SKH, we heard Stauffers and Kissel Hill, we heard Stauffers Market, which was way back. We heard Kissel Hill, we heard Stauffer Brothers, and we probably had some things they didn't tell us about how we were known, and we didn't particularly want to know. It was high time for us really to recreate our image and brand. It had to start with knowing who we wanted to be known as and how we wanted to portray that to the consumer. We had a very clear and consistent alignment of critique notes. When we sat down with the notes from Ian Baldwin, from the peer group, and from Rick Holberg, the alignment was unbelievable. And our employees said to us after the critique, we've been telling you this for years. It's good the message finally got across. So you have to start somewhere, and we started with the harsh reality that we really needed to make a change. We got motivated at that point to change. The Holberg report gave us 25 steps in rebranding our garden centers. The goal of the program is to position the Stauffers and Kissel Hill Garden Center as an upper mid-level garden center retailer, further differentiating you from the box stores. The new image will be built on the existing principles of high quality, good product selection, horticultural expertise, and competitive pricing. And as Kay mentioned earlier, with the importance of people, what wasn't mentioned in there, and I think was something that has been a brand strength for us for many years, has been the employee experience for the consumer. We had taken the "We Delight Shoppers" tagline a good bit earlier than this in our strategic planning process and had really built what we believe is a winning experience around that. The Holberg logo concept was presented to the EOT, and that's where things really started to get interesting.